what I'm doing, is this right for me? Does it bring me joy? Am I good at it? Do other people think that I'm good at it? Because you might think that you're good at it, and everybody that you're working with, like, no ma'am, this is not the job for you. The way that people are treating me, do I like it, and what's causing them to treat me that way? Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Anelia. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So today I'm going to be talking about how to do self-reflection or self-analysis so that you don't bring the negative traits that you've developed one year into the next. First thing to do is to ask yourself very detailed questions. I'm going to give you guys a few questions that I've asked myself and that I would recommend that you ask yourself, and you have to be very brutal, very honest in the way that you answer these, because that's the way that you're going to really grow. That's the way that you're really going to challenge yourself. So one of the questions that you should ask yourself is, have I reached the goal that I set out for myself when I started this year? So most people, when you get into a new year, you have new goals that you've set for yourself. Maybe you made a New Year's resolution. Maybe there was something you wanted to achieve before the end of the year. So once the year is coming to an end, it's good for you to reflect on the goals that you set earlier in the year and ask yourself, did I reach this goal? Did I do it to the best of my ability? Is there any improvement that I could have made? What would I have done differently? And answer this question honestly. Now, if you ask yourself, did I reach my goal, and you didn't, you need to go through what stopped you. You know, were they outside factors, or was it you that hindered yourself from reaching the goal that you wanted to reach? It's also very important to ask yourself, am I causing procrastination to hinder my progress? So if you're someone that puts things off, you need to ask yourself that very honestly, and you'll immediately know. Even if you're lying to yourself, you'll know that you're lying to yourself. This is one of those things that you can't really fool yourself about. It's also very good to ask yourself if you've been disciplined and persistent. Now, discipline is so important in all aspects of life. If you're really going to achieve anything, you have to be persistent, you have to be disciplined. Things take time. Most things take time. If you decide to go to the gym, you have to be disciplined about it. You're not always going to feel motivated. It is a scam to depend on motivation to do things, because motivation comes in waves. You know, it's like when you first decide to start a new business, or when you first decide to change a habit, whatever the case might be, you are going to be motivated initially, and especially like if you're talking to other people about it, it will amp you up. But over time, as you are doing the labor, it becomes tedious, and so your motivation will dwindle. But discipline is what's going to keep you going. You have to just be disciplined and decide, I'm going to do this regardless of how I feel. So you just have to tell yourself, it's something I have to do, and just get it done. It's not hard for you to do negative things, right? It's always the positive things that you really have to push yourself to do. Another key question to ask yourself is, have I been overcautious or undercautious? Now, caution is so tricky. It's so funny. You have to be just the right amount of cautious, careful enough that you don't make stupid decisions, careful enough that you're not rash or irrational, but you also have to be willing to take risks, because if you don't take risks, then you never do anything, right? So you have to be willing to try new things. You have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. So you have to ask yourself, have I been overcautious this year, where, you know, I haven't tried anything new, I haven't tried to meet new people, I am just too timid, too scared, I've made anxiety take over my life? Or have I been undercautious, where I've made impulsive decisions, I'm not thinking through my choices wisely and stuff like that? And you can ask other people. I'm going to keep saying this, ask people that know you. What do they think about you? You don't want to be too cautious, but you don't want to be not cautious enough. So in life, we all know that we have to make a lot of decisions. You're always having to choose this or the next, and you should be asking yourself, am I making my decisions based off analysis, or am I guessing? Like, am I saying, you know what's the worst that can happen, and just doing things? Or are you actually making your decisions based off analysis and real good thought? How is your relationship with other people? How is your relationship with your colleagues at work? In your friendships, have you lost friends this year? Are your friendships going well? What about your personal relationship? Do you have a partner? Did you lose a partner this year? do some reflection. Why did that relationship not work out, or why did you lose that friendship? You have to ask yourself, like, it's very easy to just say that the other person is the problem, and a lot of the times we feel like the other person is the problem, because why would you think you're the problem? But you have to do the reflection to ask yourself, you know, why aren't my relationships going well? What's the cause of it? And if your relationships are going well, then what traits do you want to take on with you into the coming year? The way that your relationships are going is a really, really telltale sign of the kind of person that you are. And if you're having problems in multiple relationships in your life, like, it can really tell you a lot about yourself and what you're doing in terms of your interpersonal skills. Like, if you're treating people well, if you're impolite, if you're not considerate, stuff like that. It'll give you insight on the kind of person that you're being with other people and how other people are experiencing you. And this is a really, really good one to ask others. How do you feel? Like, what kind of friend do you think I am? Stuff like that. And be prepared to maybe not hear all good answers. Now, a very good question to ask yourself is also, am I in the right field? What I'm doing, is this right for me? Does it bring me joy? Am I good at it? Do other people think that I'm good at it? Because you might think that you're good at it, and everybody that you're working with, like, no ma'am, this is not the job for you. It's very important for your jobs to bring you fulfillment, or for you to aim to find fulfillment in your job, because we spend a lot of our time doing the jobs that we do. It's a really big chunk of our lives. So you should be asking yourself each year, like, am I being fulfilled by my job? Is this the right job for me? Should I be changing my job? And if you were going to change your job, what would you change it to? What are the things that you're good at? Are you using your strengths to the best of your ability? Very good question to ask yourself is also, have I made any effort to improve myself this year? So did you take a course, working out? Have you improved your diet? If the answer is nothing, I don't think that you can honestly say that that's a good thing, because you want to be making continuous improvement each year. Nobody knows everything. Nobody's good at everything. So even if it's that I learned to cook this year, these are still improvements to yourself. So I would suggest that you change that in the upcoming year. This one I've been asking myself is, how open-minded are you? Open-mindedness can be a very good trait because it allows you to experience new things. It brings variety into your life. And you know the saying, variety is the spice of life. If you're somebody that really does the same things over and over, if you like to eat the same foods, you like to go to the same places, or you shop the same place all the time, you're not really allowing yourself to experience life as fully as you can. And maybe this is something that you want to adjust. Maybe you want to keep it, but I personally would suggest that that's something that's good to adjust, because if you do things too routine, you're not open to trying new things, it's just like, come on girl, let's grow up. Another very good question to ask yourself is, have I been guilty of doing anything that really did not sit well with my conscience? Like, when I look back at it, I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. That didn't sit well with me. That's not true to who I am or who I want to be. Ask yourself these kinds of questions, and it'll allow you to make better decisions, or to conduct yourself in a way that you'll feel more proud of next time around. So if maybe you answered somebody in a way that you didn't want to, or maybe you cussed somebody out this year and you're like, you know what, that actually didn't sit well with me. That's not the kind of person that I want to be. That's not how I want to conduct myself. And just being able to have that reflection ahead of time, so that the next time around you're like, you know what, the last time I didn't like that. When I said that, or when I conducted myself in that way, it didn't feel right with me. It didn't sit well with my soul. So I'm not gonna do that again. Am I conducting myself in a way that incites respect? So people treat you the way that you allow them to treat you, basically. So if you are conducting yourself in a certain way, or if you are speaking to people in a certain way, then they will usually mirror the way that you carry yourself, or the way that you speak. The way that people are treating me, do I like it, and what's causing them to treat me that way? Ask yourself how you can rebudget your time so that you can be more productive or more efficient in the coming year. So these are some questions that I think are really good to ask yourself, so that you can audit yourself and really see how people are experiencing you. And you should be very detailed, really brutal and honest with yourself when you're answering these questions. It's a good way to learn what you could do better, how you can improve while you're moving into the next year, 2024. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. Leave in the comment section if you know any other questions that you think would be good to add to this list of questions. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I really want to make it to 1,000 subscribers before January 1st. So if you're not yet subscribed and you've made it this far in the video, that means that was helpful. So hit that subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye guys. Till next time.